Logan Square started as 160 acres of land in 1836. Settlers came and called it Jefferson City. After the fire, Logan Square grew because they were right outside the fire limits. German Scandinavian immigrants moved into the northern western part of Logan Square. The boundaries were extended to Armitage. By 1889, Logan Square was annexed into the city of Chicago. The Scandinavian and Germans were more concentrated in the Logan, Kedzie, and Humboldt Boulevard and the Logan and Palmer Square. After World War I, Logan Square boomed. Poles and Russian Jews started moving into Milwaukee. They moved into rental apartments and flats. About 1925, developers took over the land on Sawyer and Milwaukee and built more flats. After 1930, the population dropped. The construction of the Kennedy Expressway in the 1950s severed the district from the rest of Logan Square. The construction of the Blue Line also disrupted the community in central Logan Square for about 10 years. In the 1960s, Logan Square's population went back up, and the LSNA worked to improve the community. There was an influx of Latinos in the 1960s. By the 1990s, the Latino population made up two-thirds of Logan Square. It was the largest Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Southern and Central American population of Chicago, with a sizable Mexican population. The Polish population was still present. The upper and middle class professionals owned the boulevard homes now, and the majority of Logan Square's population lived in the community and rental flats in the apartments. Avondale was originally mostly farmland prior to the 1880s. In the 1880s, about 20 African American families moved into the land, and they built the first church in Avondale. When Avondale was annexed into the city in 1889, there was a rapid growth of population. New transportation became available. There was an extension of street railways, which is now the CTA routes, especially on the Milwaukee and Elston Avenues. The construction of the Logan Square branch of the L was also extended where it's now Belmont and Kimball. This provided rapid transportation to jobs in the city. By 1920, the population of Avondale was more than 38,000. More than 25% of these were foreign-born. Most of the people were German, along with Swedish and Austrians. By 1930, the Poles made up about 33% of the population, which was now 48,000. As the Polish population grew, Germans and Scandinavians and other settlers re-established into the northwest part of Avondale. The Poles were the dominant ethnic group up until the 1990s, when the Hispanics made up about 37% of the population. She tells people she lives in Logan Square, but on the map she says she falls under Avondale. She says people don't really know or hear about Avondale, at least not on this side of the expressway. I asked her why is this important for people to know where she lives. She says, "'Cause man, you want where you live to reflect who you are. I mean, yeah, Avondale has culture, but more north of Avondale, it's like we don't really belong. So I feel I belong at Logan Square."
I have friends who live in Logan Square. I met them at school.
What school?
Avondale and Logandale.
Where do you guys usually hang out?
We usually hang around my house, but I'll go over to their house once in a while.
What neighborhood do you live in?
I live in Avondale.
Do you ever tell people you live in Logan Square or in any different neighborhood?
Yeah, but when I tell them Avondale, they don't really know. But Logan Square is popular.
My belief. Mel is a white alderman. Colon is a Latino alderman. Um, and the color of their skins are very prominent. And this has been an ongoing thing. We had Alderman Colon. She was a woman and she was Latina. We're of the same race, um, or same ethnic background, or related backgrounds. I think things would be different. I do believe that. Do I see Logan Square and Avondale as one? Um, I do in certain areas, but as I stated before, it is that area that is just south of the expressway, or like I said, south of Belmont. I see the two communities separated. Many of the homes built on the Avondale side are more for families and families with a higher income, and for single families, not it's a single family home as opposed to 2 flats or 3 flats, which is very common, what you see in Logan Square. There's a gated community or semi-gated community built, and even though Avondale starts at Diversity, the community seems to be separated by the expressway. So then I live on the south side of the expressway, and it has felt like I'm part of the Logan Square community than Avondale. Also, the Avondale side, north of the expressway, has a different alderman. So obviously that right there automatically makes you interact differently, because our alderman has 2 communities. He has Logan Square and he has Avondale, where I believe that Alderman Mel has only Avondale. I believe Logan Square is more business oriented. I think that's what distinguishes them a lot. Business oriented, more small business oriented. I think that's what I want to say. It offers many opportunities for small business owners. It also has a vast array of ethnic restaurants and shops, and that are very economical. It has many supermarkets, mini markets, and I think what is most valuable to its culture is, and this is Logan Square, right, is that it still maintains some of its corner stores, which I believe have seemed to disappear over the decades. Logan Square has a police station in their community. Logan Square is also more residential. On the other hand, I think Avondale has more like chain businesses or big box shops. Affect the boundaries, huh? I think because Logan Square was more Latino populated than Avondale, many of the businesses, have continued. Stores have Spanish speakers, or they're multicultural, geared for the Latino population. I I believe that Avondale has always been more Anglo, and it maintains a lot of that culture. What would I make the boundaries? Well, I think I would extend Logan Square to the expressway or to Belmont, and then from south of Belmont, and again, all the way to how they extend west and east. But south of Belmont would begin Logan Square.